Hi, Facebook. Hi, social media. Good morning. Happy Saturday, or good afternoon, rather. I haven't been up that long, so and I'm on the West Coast. This is Tiffany Martinez. I am doing a pre-juicing video. I'm just gonna chop up some fruit and just talk to you guys a little bit about my weight loss journey and how I am where I am today with uh, my weight loss goals and different things like that. And those who are thinking about it and they're on the fence and wherever you are on your weight loss journey, um, I just want to let you know that um, where I am today, I do have a weight loss journey album. This isn't one of those videos where it's all about me type thing. It's geared towards motivating you to get basically off the sofa and do whatever you need to do. I sincerely care about people, and I've always cared about people, and you know, my heart always goes back to caring about people. So uh, when I say these things, I'm not saying them like to hurt people or anything like that. I say them because I've been there. I'm still there. I've never been perfect. I don't strive to be perfect, and you shouldn't strive to be perfect. Well, anyways, I'm doing this juicing video, or I probably won't put the juicer out on the table because my juicer is in my kitchen. And but I've already cut my melons in half or whatever, and I've already cleaned them out. As you can see here, I have cantaloupes. I have two cantaloupe halves and two honeydew halves that I'm just basically going to cut them out. I mean, slice them and chop them and put them in the bowl, and just give you guys some easy tips for those who enjoy making excuses as to why that they can't move forward in their lives when it comes to making healthier choices. Um, One little tip that helps me a lot is just going to like any little dollar store and getting one of the ice cream spoons, and don't use them for ice cream. Use them for scooping out and cleaning out the inside of your melon. It makes it very easy and quick. Um, if you have trouble standing on like your feet, like I do, I still do, even after losing over 200 pounds on my own. I'm not saying that to brag, because I mean, it is an accomplishment, but it also is, I still have a lot of pain. So it's a plus and a negative. So, uh, but instead of making an excuse for myself, I find another way to work around my pain. I sit down at the table and chop my vegetables, or chop my fruit and vegetables, whatever I'm working with. I find another alternative. I don't want to waste too much time, or waste too much of my time, not necessarily your time. Your time is valuable too, but I don't want to waste too much of my time because I have some other things I would like to do today. So I'm thinking about using today as a personal day. Um, maybe, maybe it'll be a personal day, and maybe be a mixture of personal and business. But when it comes to juicing, since you're not going to eat the vegetables, you're going to juice the vegetables, or fruit and vegetables, however you want to say it. It's still a plant. Since you're not going to eat them, you're going to drink them. You don't have to make them perfect. I try to cut them in maybe kind of like decent slices, but not chunks, because you're just going to put them inside your juicer, your chute. Um, so you're just going to try to get close to, I mean, I do. You can do it however you want to do it. I try to get close to the rind as possible because you want to get as much as the fruit as possible. And once again, I'm not perfect when it comes to the camera, um, but I will show you once I have taken it off the rind. Um, but anyways, I have mentioned before that I started, well, at least the highest documented weight was around 430 pounds. That's probably the highest weight that the scale would acknowledge. I mean, I could have been higher. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's the highest that I could um, account for, I guess, because that's the only scale that I could get on at the time. So, and I've mentioned in my weight loss journey albums that I'm not embarrassed about it. I don't really care. Um, I don't know if there's going to be any toe stomping in this video. I don't know if there's going to be any cussing in this video because I'm very honest and open and blunt. Okay, well, anyways, so if you're sensitive about swear words, whatever, then hey, it is what it is. It's my video. You can leave if you want, or do whatever you want to do. I don't care. This is the cantaloupe after I taking it off its rind, and I think I did pretty well with it. I think for that one, and now I'm just gonna try to just cut it probably in half. Because like I said, you're just gonna put it inside the chute, and the chute is pretty wide. And I just cut it in half. And you're not gonna eat it, like I said. I mean, you can eat it if you want, but the purpose of this video is juicing. So I'm just gonna drop it into the bowl. So back to the 430. Yeah, I used to weigh 430 pounds. And my health was way worse than what it currently is. So I would say that it's improving somewhat. Now I'm dealing with other issues, but in regards to your issues, because I have friends that have restrictions that are holding them back in life from doing the things that they want to do. And I see that you have hopes and dreams and things you want to accomplish, but you can't accomplish them because you don't know how to get around your hurdles. Either you don't know how to get around your hurdles, or you are very afraid to get around your hurdles. It's one or the other. But because I've been where you are, and there's another. Like I said, they're not going to be perfect because you're just going to throw them inside the juicer anyways. Because I've been where you are, you have to work very hard, and you can't give up. You have to find a happy medium. I tell myself every day, I am my best coach. I don't need, or rather, I feel like I don't need a life coach because I'm my best coach. I'm going to tell myself every day to get my ass out of bed. I'm going to tell myself every day to find something else that works. I'm going to keep trying. And when I was 430 pounds, I had the hardest time finding exercises to do. Like, I went through a phase where, because I have my own treadmill at home, I have one of those kind that you can fold up. I think it doesn't matter what kind it is, but if you're interested in what kind I have, just inbox me and I'll tell you what kind I have. But I ended up getting plantar fasciitis, however you pronounce it, and that was like, you're down if you do, if you're down if you don't type situation. So I ended up hurting my foot trying to exercise. Oh, sorry. I'm working on the honeydew now. That's what I'm working on. Well, anyways, I ended up hurting my foot, and I couldn't walk on it for a great while. So I went to my doctors, and they wrapped it up and they just diagnosed me with plantar fasciitis, however you say. And I said, well, isn't that like something that a runner gets, like an athlete gets? And they said, well, yeah. And I said, well, do I look like an athlete? And they were like, no, but what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm just walking on my treadmill. And he was like, oh, so, and, you're going to get, a lot of judgmental looks. It doesn't matter. But just keep reminding yourself, you're doing this for yourself. You're not doing it for them. You're not doing it for anybody else but for yourself. So that being said, because I hit another wall when it came to, okay, well, anyways, let me pause that for a second. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the honeydew. So I'm just going to have to just break it up, I guess. And which is fine too, because like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. But I really want to juice these vegetables today because I've been craving them. And so it's not going to be a perfect picture. But anyways, because I had so much trouble on the treadmill, I had to find another alternative because I wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel better. I was tired of being in so much pain all the time. And, my doctor, or doctors, they had already prescribed me all this medication, and none of the medication was really helping. It's either it was keeping me doped up all the time, or it just wasn't helping. It was either, like I said, it was keeping me in bed all the time sleeping, or it was only going to work for a short amount of time. And I was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Sorry, I'm going to taste a piece of the honeydew. So, it was really good. So, I was just getting larger, but I was still, a lot of people, they didn't understand how I could walk around being as big as I was. And I said, well, I wasn't going to just sit there. And another thing that I made sure that I did was whenever I went grocery shopping, because I always look forward to going to the grocery store, was I make sure that I never use those, scooter things, those motor scooter things. And I'm not judging anyone that uses those, but if your legs work, do your best, especially if you sit at home all day like I used to do. And I don't want to get into too much detail about that right now. I made sure that I grabbed the cart because it was like using a walker in disguise. And it was perfect. It was perfect. No one knew that I was exercising. No one knew, the fat girl was exercising in the store. And I would go to my local grocery store right when they open up the store, and I would walk around the store. I would push the shopping cart. I got very familiar with the grocery store staff. I would talk to them. I would ask them how their kids were doing. And this was over a 10-year span. And I would go there every morning, and I would end up buying something, whether if it was something I needed for the house, or, I would be a customer too. I wouldn't just use their facilities until one of the managers, he caught on to what I was doing, because I would use the shopping cart and I would go up and down the aisles. And he figured out what I was doing, He doesn't work there anymore, but he told me that I didn't have to buy anything if I didn't want to buy anything. And he told me that I was doing a good job. And I said, oh, thank you. And I said, well, I'm doing my best. And he says, I know you are. So anyways, and that's what I'm here to tell you. I've been where you are. I've been where you are. And I'm still, I mean, there's times I can't even get out of my bed because the pain is that bad. The pain is that bad. But I find alternatives in my bed. I've learned how to do exercises in my bed, to keep my muscles alive. So it doesn't matter how, whatever your size is, whatever your condition is, because I had mentioned before, back when I was able to work, I used to work with two different gentlemen. Kind of find out they were friends, or maybe they were friends at one point, like before they each had their accident. One, they both ended up being quadriplegics or becoming quadriplegic because they both had a gymnastic accident that left them um, paralyzed from the waist down. And I end up getting to work with them, in their home. I would, go help them, get ready for the day and things like that. And, you know, it was a humbling position. But they weren't overweight or anything like that. They weren't obese because they found other alternatives how to do exercises, and they also continued to maintain their weight by eating properly, eating healthy. They had a very good support system. And I worked with people who didn't have a good support system, and they became their own support system. So you gotta kind of have you gotta have your own willpower. You know, first you gotta find your why. Like, why do you want to, get better and things like that. So I told you about the shopping carts. Um, so I still do that. Even today, I'll walk around the store, even if I'm just in there for one thing. I'll walk the entire store just for the cardio. Just for the cardio, I'll do it. But today, um, now I could just, if I'm just in there for one thing, it depends on how my body feels. I'll just grab the little hand cart, and I'll still walk the entire store. But this didn't happen overnight. This didn't happen overnight. Excuse me. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen in a year. And I didn't even set a goal like when I wanted to be able to do this, and then been able to do that. I didn't set those type of expectations, for myself. I didn't do that to myself because I knew with my particular case, it was going to take a long time. Like, I've been on this journey for over a decade. Like, because mine is, when it comes to this, you know, it's very difficult. And everything that I have is, at this point, is irreversible. However, I have faith in myself that because I'm a good person, the universe may reward me for, my good efforts. You just never know, but you have to try. So, anyways, I eventually, um, I eventually wasn't able to taste my foods. This was obviously before the juicing, um, and I wasn't able to, taste my foods. I ate a lot of fast foods, like my husband, because I'm not a good cook. I'm still not a good cook. My husband would, sometimes bring home takeout food, you know, like, fast food, garbage. And I ended up getting gallstones. And ended up going to, the emergency room, and I had all these attacks, and the doctor didn't even order an ultrasound. He just diagnosed me just by the words that came out of my mouth, and he told me what I could do, so I didn't have to have the surgery. This was early 2000, maybe 2004, 2005. This was before my husband and I got married. And he told me what I needed to do, and I was hurting so bad. And then, the morphine drip started kicking in. He told me what I need to do. He told me, to stay away from the fast food, bake the food that I'm going to eat. He told me how to prepare it. And I remember saying, for real? And he was like, I don't know if he was being sarcastic or what, but he was like, for real. He said it the way I said it. And because I try to be a good listener, I went home and I immediately started doing what he said. I didn't eat any more fried foods. I went through every meat chain, like, I, cut out all the carne. I didn't eat any more red meat, didn't eat any more chicken, didn't eat any more pork. And I was baking every single meat in the oven to see which one wasn't going to cause me a trigger. And I ended up finding a safe food, like a safe meat, which was seafood, which was fish. Salmon was the only meat that didn't cause me an episode. So that's how I ended up not eating chicken and beef and all those other types of meats. That's how that happened. So Um, and I ended up having to cut out majority of all the dairy products, including cow's milk, because even cow's milk started causing me to have gallstone attack. Like I would get an episode that started causing me pain. I'm just about finished cutting the fruit, so that started causing me pain. And then I switched to soy milk, but at the time I didn't know that the soy milk was going to cause me um, problems with with the endometriosis, because I didn't know that I had endometriosis at the time, even though I had problems with my cycle since I was 12 years old. I didn't find out till I was 39 that that's what was causing me all that additional pain. So when I found out what I had, then I researched more of um, endometriosis and what causes the triggers. So I eventually cut out the soy, when it comes to the soy milk, and I switched to almond milk. So basically, sorry that I rattled on so much, but you have to, if you want to change your life, you have to make a lot of lifestyle changes. And I did this over. Some people are strong enough to do it in a short amount of time. With me, I needed to find alternatives for everything that I like to eat. So when people see that I don't eat meat other than the occasional salmon, they think, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. Or they think that, I try to eat a vegan-based diet. They think, oh, I can't do that. And I say, yes, you can, because all you're doing is finding alternatives to your favorite foods. And there are a lot of delicious vegan foods out there that you wouldn't even know were vegan foods. You wouldn't even know that they were vegan. To tell you the truth, you wouldn't be missing anything. And almond milk is delicious. And we didn't grow up on sweet milk. We didn't grow up on sweet cow's milk, like a sugar milk. We grew up on plain cow's milk. So if you would just get to, if you would taste almond milk, it tastes just like, um, to me, it tastes like just like regular cow's milk. When I started with almond milk, when I started with soy milk, I picked the vanilla milk. That's what I picked because I wanted something to ease myself into the transition. But now I don't want that vanilla milk because I can taste the sugar so bad. Like, to me, it's just too much. I mean, to me, it reminds me of ice cream too much. And anytime I eat regular ice cream and anything like, dairy, it messes up my stomach. And just to talk a little bit about that, if something causes you pain, even if it tastes delicious, is it really worth eating? Like there's like, I love to eat tofu, and I didn't realize that's what was causing me the pain, or a lot of the pain, like, the gastro issues. So I had to give it up for a while. Like, I'm not saying I won't ever eat it again because I love tofu. It's really delicious. But it's more going to be more of an annual meal versus making it several times a week. So you have choices. It's up to you if you're willing to do what's needed to reverse all your damages. Like, you didn't get sick overnight, so don't expect to be healed overnight. You have to look at it realistically. Like I said, a lot of what's going on with me didn't happen overnight. And chances are it probably won't ever get completely healed, but I'm not going to give up. I'm only 43. I want to do a lot more things in life. A lot more things. I don't know if you can see really beautiful fruit, but I have a couple more melons in the refrigerator. But I have two tall milk bottles that I can transfer this to. It depends on, I need to buy a couple more bottles to put it in, but we'll see how this goes. Um, but you have to be willing to start somewhere. People say, oh, I can't, stop drinking sodas. Wow, if you can't stop drinking sodas, then you are an addict toward sodas. And that's the truth. I gave up sodas because I couldn't taste them anymore. I literally couldn't taste it. I remember my husband and I mentioned this before, not on this video, but another video that I told my husband when we used to go to, sort of like basically a convenience store, and we would get the fountain drinks, and I would get like my favorite soda when I moved out here to California was a Cactus Cooler. I just love that. It was a combination of orange and something else. I forget what's in it. But well, anyways, I couldn't taste it. And I asked the cashier nicely if they could go to the back to change the syrup. And the guy looked at me like I just changed it. And then the manager was like, I'll go check it for you. I said, oh, okay, thank you, sir. And he comes back and he assured me that it was changed. And I was like, well, what's wrong with it? And my husband took a sip of it. He says, it's sweet, it's perfect. And he was like, just go grab one from the cooler. I was like, well, I know, but that's smaller. And he was just like, just go grab one. And I did. And I took a sip of that one and I still could barely taste it. So at that moment, I knew something was wrong with me and it wasn't what was coming out that fountain. So it's like you see the signs around you, and I don't want to expire prematurely. There's a lot more stuff in this world that I want to do, that I want to see. Like if you grew up with me, uh, my father, he expired prematurely, and he expired in 2012. He was barely I think he was He was born in 1949, so he's like 60 something. That's pretty young, I think. And I think if he would have started caring about his health before he expired, like before the last 2 years, he could have probably reversed a lot of the things he was dealing with. But he didn't do that. Basically he put his business, his professional life before his health. And just to speak on that for a moment, you can't have your health or you can't have your wealth and health. Like those have got to coincide. So, and I'm going to close with this. Um, you know me as Tiffany Martinez, but you also know me as Stay at Home Wifey. So if you haven't went to my website to check out stayatHomeWifey.com, if you're looking for more ways to make money from home, this is your opportunity. This is all that I do is, well, I'm just now getting back into, doing juicing, but this is all that I do is juicing now. Well, not juicing, but I do things at home, and that's mostly because of my health. So, yes, I do have an education, and I did go to college. I did graduate high school. I have all my credentials, but that doesn't matter when you're unable to do the job that you went to school for. So, you should think about that. Those who, they think that and I have friends. So if you ever actually do see this video and you think that this is going to be some toe stopping, no, I really don't care. I don't care in general, really. But those who think that they are on a different level than I am, just because you went to a better university than I did, where will you be when you're unable to do the job that you're currently doing? Let that sink in for a minute. If you got sick, where would you be? And it doesn't matter if you have a spouse, anything that you currently have, if you don't have multiple streams of income to back up what you're doing, it's all for naught. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. So it doesn't matter if you graduated from a better university than me or a better college than me, or if you went to a 4-year university. It doesn't matter. I work with people who are in the quote unquote position that you're in, and they also lost it all, and they had to start over. So when I go to my appointments and I hand them my card, most of them are grateful to have it. So if you don't believe me, meet me on Thursday nights surrounded by the other quote unquote professionals, the ones that had to reboot their lives financially. So that's it for the toe stomping. I may do another video later on today. I am not quite sure, but I want to get these in my juicer because it is almost 1 and I haven't had my breakfast yet, nor have I did my morning rituals, and I would like to do that, but I mostly want to juice my fruit so I can taste it. They smell delicious. You guys have a golden day and an income producing day, and I will talk to you guys another time. Bye-bye.